الله أكبر.
الرحمن الرحيم أحمده ونصلي على رسول الكريم أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Continuing with our short selection of talks after the Tarawih Salah. Alhamdulillah, since the series started a few days back, we have looked at wide-ranging of topics, starting with the importance of speaking the haqq and the truth. And in yesterday's dars and talk, we looked at the topic with regards to tawadu, i.e. humbleness, and making yourself humble in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Following on from the topic of tawadu, in today's dars and in today's short talk, I want to talk about something which is linked with tawadu, something which is linked with humbleness, and that is regarding appreciation. Appreciating those who are around you, and also appreciating Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, appreciation is a very, very important point. It builds tawadu and it builds humbleness in a person. And regarding appreciation, what I want to say is that it's mentioned in a hadith that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said that those who don't thank the people cannot thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In other words, those who don't appreciate the efforts of those who are around you, whether it's your wife, whether it's your children, whether it's your colleagues, whether it's your friends, whether it's your ustad, if you don't appreciate those who are around you, you cannot appreciate Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because this world which we are living in, ad-dunya mazra'atun lil-akhirah, this world which we are living in, it's like a training center for the hereafter. There are so many things which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us to do, which the Sharia has mentioned that we should kind of do this, do that. In other words, to our parents, to our relatives, to our neighbors, so that when we thank them, it then gives us the tawfiq and it gives us the skills to then thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. SubhanAllah, when we look at everything around us, there's so many things. Take an example of thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But before we learn to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us that first get to learn to thank those who are around you. First get to appreciate that. Before, say for example, we want to be God-fearing, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that, okay, if you want to be God-fearing and you want to have taqwa, then those things which are doubtful and mashkuk, refrain from that, and then you become God-fearing. So what I want to explain is that there's so many other examples I could think of where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said that, okay, if you want to do this, you need to do that first. قُلْ إِن كُنْتُمْ تُحِبُّونَ اللَّهَ فَاتَّبِعُونِي يُحْبِبْكُمُ اللَّهُ. That if you want to love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you want Allah to love you, then firstly follow the sunnah. So what I want to explain, there's so many examples like that, that if you want to get that connection to Allah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, well, do something here. Do something in this world. The very famous hadith Qudsi, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say on the day of judgment, that, O servant, I was hungry. I was hungry. Why didn't you feed me? So a servant will say to Allah, oh Allah, how can we feed you whilst you're the Rabbul Alameen? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say, well, there was a servant of mine who was hungry. You should have fed him. If you had fed him, then you would have found me with him. Likewise, in another hadith, that same hadith Qudsi, when it says that, I was like thirsty, wanting to, give me anything to drink. So what we can understand here is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us that if you want to gain nearness to Him, first of all, you need to do the khidmah, you need to look after the people who are around you, and then that enables and helps you to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So regarding this topic of appreciation, as I was saying, that you need to thank people who are around you, especially for the students who are in the madrasa. Thank your ustads, thank your parents. Firstly, thank your parents, because where your parents have given you the opportunity to come here in terms of fees and giving you that support from home. There's many students who we know in the madrasa who want to study, but they can't study because parents are putting a lot of obstacles in. They're telling them, why are you studying at a madrasa for? Go to college, go to university, get work. Or sometimes it happens that the parents want their children to study, but they don't have the means, they can't afford the fees to send their son, their daughter to a madrasa. So first and foremost, for us students, we need to thank our parents for giving us the support, for giving us the opportunity to study at a madrasa. Then afterwards, you need to thank your ustads, your teachers, for spending time with you, making sure that you are nurtured, you do well in your lessons, not in your lessons, but also in the tarbiyah. And then when you get the skills of learning how to thank your ustads, learning how to thank your parents, then inshallah ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will also give you the tawfiq and the skills to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So always keep this in mind, always thank people who are around you. There's so many people who help you in what you achieve later on. It's not just one ustad, it's not just your parents, there's so many other people, brothers, siblings, who help you achieve this goal of being an alim or an alima, whatever you are doing. So many people help. It's not just the ustads. Like when I studied at Darul Berry, so obviously, you say the ustads helped me. But it wasn't just the ustads, there's so many people in terms of, if you want to include siblings, my brothers, my sisters, parents, but not only that, even like when I sometimes look back at it, even the van driver, who took us to the madrasa, is also part of it as well. There were so many occasions where perhaps the van driver wasn't there, but we used to take a lift from some of the students, their parents. So they also part of it as well. You should thank them as well. Because if they, for example, didn't take you there, then you wouldn't have gone to Darul. So what I want to explain is there's so many people, alright, you don't actually think about it, but there's actually so many people which make you who you are. Obviously your ustads and parents and the people who put the most effort in, yes, they get the most credit and you should remember them in your du'as, but there's so many other people who help you become who you are. There could be so many people where they may have just called you to come to the madrasa, just gave you that targheeb, that initial encouragement, that initial targheeb to come to madrasa. Then afterwards you forgot all about them. Afterwards you lost contact with them. But when you look at it, you should also appreciate them as well for the effort they've put in behind you, for giving you that initial brick for you to basically step on to go onto the path of deen. So all these people, they're very, very important. You should always thank them. And the way to thank them, everyone, Hal Jazal Ihsan illa Ihsan, is that you make dua for them, help them when they are in need, help them, assist them. But I think the key thing is, bearing in mind, it is the month of Ramadan, and I'm sure they'll appreciate it as well, is make dua for them. Duas are readily accepted, swiftly accepted, especially at the time of iftar. So make dua for your ustads, make dua for your parents, make dua for those siblings, brothers, sisters who have helped you coming to this particular path, who have maintained you there, who have kept you steadfast. Do dua for them. It is the month of Ramadan. Duas are accepted. So may Allah give us the tawfiq to act upon what's been said. Allah.